Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT, and you can refer to me as Miss T. We're going to review the fights this weekend, but you see the question I posted. What does his victory really mean? And I'm talking about Vasily Lomachenko. But first, let's turn to Welcome back. It's Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. We got Smooth Shah 4YT in the building. What's poppin', King? Salute to you. Well, it was an interesting weekend of fights, I must say. It was. I'm going to be talking about the fights, reviewing it. I'm going to be jumping around, make sure I have my phone ready and everything. Yep. Let me make sure the phone lines are open. Remember, you guys can chime in. Let me see. Hold on. The phone lines are open. So you can always call in at 706-804-4449. That's 706-804-4449. Some a little change in the way I broadcast. I stopped going to Facebook. I'm going to try it out for a little bit because me and Facebook has a problem. You know, they've been like kind of shitting on your girl. I don't know what the problem is, but I'm going to go ahead and go back to what I was doing originally. And I'm going to take a little breather from them. Maybe they'll go find somebody else to mess with. We just going to see. Anyway, so we had some interesting fights, but y'all know how I start my program with the water check. This is my 11th one. When I'm done, I will have 88 ounces of water. You know, the goal is 100 ounces of water every day. And so I like to do a water check. It's integral that we all drink plenty of water every day. No matter what kind of diet, journey, or whatever it is you're doing, make sure you drink some water. Drink it before you go to bed at night, and drink it first thing in the morning to start your engine. It's an integral part now. They don't pay me to advertise them, but I drink spring water. And as y'all saw, it was Deer Park, but that's what I drink. Anywho, we're going to start off with some of these fights. And as I said, I'm going to be jumping around because it was like 3 cards that night. You had a fight on DAZN. You had the fight on ESPN. And then you had the fight on Showtime. Now I gotta say, Lomachenko's card to me was better. And normally it don't always be the best card, but it was better. And I think boxing as a whole got to get back to putting on great shows, like having a good card, because that makes a difference. You know, sometimes the main event could be what we all come there to see, but you got to give us some good nuggets before the main event. And tonight, I got to say, Bob and them did their thing because that was a good card. As far as the zone, it was okay. See, there's some fights on there. I watched them, but I don't remember all of them, so they wasn't memorable. That's why it's important that you put on a good card, because you can mess around. The fights on your undercard are not memorable. Then you'll forget who the co-main or main event fighters were. You know, so that's why it's integral to try to put together a great card. And Showtime, not this time. You guys kind of dropped the ball to me on the total package of your cards. But I'm going to jump around. If you guys watch the fights this weekend, then you know who was on who. You know what I'm saying? Andrew Charles is in the building. He says, salute, Miss T. Salute to you too, King. So I'm going to start off with the little known fight. I didn't even know they was going to be fighting. Davies Jr. versus Lundy. Hank Lundy. We all remember Hank from when Bud destroyed him. But I thought he was a better fighter. I know he's out of Philly, but I'm starting to think it's about time for Mr. Lundy to go on and hang up the gloves. You know, I don't get to decide his career, but after that performance, I don't see where you could come up from that. Andrew Charles said the zone also drags their cards out. Way too much filler between the fights. Yes, indeed. Now, the zone, you got to correct that. You have to correct that, because it's almost like watching ABC, CBS, or NBC. Like, too many goddamn commercials. So cut all that crap out. Go from fight to fight. Yeah, I'm not. And I've noticed that about a lot of fights in the latter part of this year. It seemed like there was pauses before the next fight. So, no. I do want to highlight a couple of fighters just for the sheer fact of being busy. Now, everybody wants that Mayweather payday, or they want that that shine like Mayweather, so that they can get to higher paydays, but they don't want to do what he did. And one thing a lot of fighters don't do, you know, if you have vices like smoking and drinking, he didn't do that. So, but this is not about that. I don't know of any of them who does that on this particular Saturday night. But what I will say is it's a couple of fighters that has been fighting often. Now, I'm going to take it from June, but I think these fighters that I'm talking about for August, October, and December. But let's just take it from June and say the last 6 months of fighting. I've seen Brandon Lee about 3 times since June. I've seen Jared Anderson 3 times. Believe it or not, we've seen Nico Ali Walsh like 3 times. And who else? Was it somebody else? I don't know. As I'm reviewing the fights, I'll let you know if that person has fought often. But that's the ticket. When you're young, you gotta fight often, especially if you don't get hurt. When you fight somebody who's not on your level, I don't want to call nobody a tomato can or a bum. I mean, it would take a lot for me to say that, because the fact that you did get in the ring says a lot. But if you're kind of on that status where other folks would call you a bum or a tomato can, or you're just not on the level of the fighter you have before you, then it's incumbent upon the person with the most skills and most abilities to get their opponent out. You have to destroy them. You have to make them feel like, oh no, boxing ain't what I want to do. You have to end the fight like that. You have to finish it. You can't be going many rounds with somebody that you should have beat, because that doesn't work for your reputation or career either. So shout outs to people like Brandon Lee. And y'all hear me talk about him all the time. When I get to him, I have a lot to say about this young guy. But I look at him like I looked at Isaac Cruz, and y'all know how that turned out. He's somebody to behold. So, he finishes his fights. Jared Anderson finishes his fights. Believe it or not, Nico Walsh tries to finish his fight. He didn't get the KO this time, but he gonna have to start fighting more than 4 rounds. But they carrying him, so I understand that. So when I talk about Nico, well, I'll just put all that in when I get to his fight. But it's incumbent upon you fighters that the bottom line is when you're in the ring with somebody you are heads or tails above, you have to finish them. You have to, because it's just not gonna make no sense. That all goes into the cake. When we are trying to assess you, we're trying to judge you. That's all baked in the cake. How you finish a fight. We're looking at everything. We're looking at your skills. We're looking at your abilities. Can you fight going backwards? Can you fight going forwards? Are you a pressure fighter? Can you handle a pressure fighter? Can you box? Are you stand on your toes? Can you slip a punch? Can you move your head? Can you get off line? Can you counter punch? Can you stand your ground? Can you stay off the ropes? Can you do ring generalship? Can you make lateral movements? Can you make angles? All of that stuff is how we are judging you as fans. That's what makes you look heads and tails above everyone else. And it keeps people coming back for more. So I like any fighters to watch my program to keep that in mind. That is truly what a boxing fan watches and what they like. And even if they don't want to like you, it's hard not to like you. If they don't want to like you for other reasons, maybe because of your race, maybe because of where you come from, maybe because of who you roll with, what set you claim, so to speak, then that's a superficial reason, right? But boxing fans could feel that way too. But then there'll be fans nonetheless. And all fans spin green. So they'll pay to see you lose. They'll pay to see you win. Both of that is a win-win combination for a fighter. So keep that in mind. Like when you're out there, trying to do what you do. And that's what's making people like Brandon Lee and Jared Anderson special. They have that in mind. And we'll talk about more about that when I get into their fight. Now, I actually, out of all the fights, I just watched them all. But out of all the fights, I actually try to score the Lomachenko fight. And he's going to be the last fight I talk about. Because I really want to know, what does his victory mean? Like, really what it means. And I'm going to be straight up honest. As I always do. But let's start off with Davies Jr. versus Hank London. As I told you, I think it's time for Hank to go on and hang up the gloves. I don't see how he come back from that. I got my notes right here. So Davies never really let him into the fight. Talking about Davies. He never really let Hank into the fight. It was balls to walls as soon as the bell rung. He was on his ass. Lundy was overwhelmed. He was very much overwhelmed. And he was a shell of himself. I mean, he fought better when he fought Terrence Crawford. Now, that's not a hit against Terrence Crawford. Lundy was, I guess, young. He was younger. I think they fought at a lower weight class. Well, I know Terrence did. But I don't know I don't think Lundy was ready. I don't know this to be true, but it wouldn't surprise me if they called him last minute and he just came in there kind of dry. Because that was a horrible performance. He just couldn't get right. Or maybe the first hit really rocked him and he was hanging on as best he could. But, yeah, that wasn't good. Andrew Charles said Keyshawn surprised me the most this weekend. He looked like a new Keyshawn since the last time he was in the public eye. Well, Andrew, he working up there with Bud. Something like that would make you look different or make you better. Everybody who up there who work with Bud and them, they tend to come out better than when they went in. So that's a win-win, and that's a plus for them. Bud was there at the fight, as we all saw, rooting and cheering him on. So giving him that support. But yeah, That's the first time I ever saw him fight. I heard about him. I might have seen highlights, but apparently he fought on the zone a little bit, and now he's with Top Rank. Now we all know that Bud is not with Top Rank anymore, but I don't think Bud hold grudges. He could, but I don't think he is when it comes to Top Rank, because Keyshawn just now getting up with them pretty much in recent times, and Bud could have been like, man, fuck Bob Arum, don't sign with him. But as we know, Bob Arum scooped up all the Olympians, pretty much the hot ticket items, and he also signed Keyshawn's brother. So Bud didn't sour that or anything. So, but they work up there with Bomac. Bomac and them do a great job in training and this, that, and the other, and it showed with young Keyshawn. But back to Davis and Lundy. Lundy definitely need to hang the gloves up. And like I said, that guy Davies, I don't even know him. He don't look like a spectacular fighter to me. I'm not knocking him. Never seen him before. Never heard of him before. No special effects. Just, he threw his hands. And he caught Lundy. And got him up out of there. I think the second round got him up out of there. So, yeah, that was a quick fight, you just sitting down with the popcorn and boom, it's over. But it wasn't nothing spectacular. It was more so Lundy not being up to par than this guy Davies being awesome. And no knock against Davies. He did what he's supposed to do. As I said, if you're a fighter, you come in there and that person is not on your level, you have to destroy them. You just do. You do. And there's a reason why I'm even talking about that, because we all seen that Loma fight. And then I want to talk about, I know that Conor Benn in Algeria was the main event. See, their card, I don't remember too much. I know it was some women boxing, and yet again, another fight where they just headhunting, proving that they need to go to 3 minutes. Because I think if they go to 3 minutes, and I will always say that about women boxing. Why do I think they need to go to 3 minutes? Is because it would slow down, all this headhunting. They would take their time because you got to make it through the rounds. Now, maybe you offset that by only fighting 10 rounds as opposed to 12, and 8 rounds as opposed to 10. But they still all should be 3-minute rounds. Even if, look at what the guys do. They start off with 4 rounds. Nico Walsh for 4 rounds. So some of these girls, if they not ready to go that kind of distance, maybe if they worried about the concussion so much, maybe it's some kind of test they got to prove that they could do 10 rounds of 3-minute boxing. I don't know, but 2 minutes is boring, y'all. It's like rock 'em sock 'em. You're not going to see lateral movements. You're not going to see them setting traps. You're not going to see them slipping and fighting on the back foot, coming on angles. All that stuff that make y'all be like, wow, when it comes to Lomachenko. You'll never get to see that in women's boxing because the rounds are 2 minutes. And they just trying to hurry up and get as much in as they can. And it's like, I don't want to say it's boring, but it lacks imagination and creativity. And I think going to 3 minutes is going to improve it. I don't even remember those ladies' names. No offense to them. Shout outs to them for getting in the ring, period, and putting on the show. But, I mean, I don't want to see people stand. I wouldn't want to see it from men standing in one spot and just constantly hitting in the head. Who wants that? I mean, I don't know who likes that type of boxing, but I don't know. That could be a whole nother sport. Phone booth boxing. Because that's all you're going to get. Like, you just really in the phone booth throwing your shots. So, shout outs to them. But every chance I get and every chance they get, they should advocate for 3 minutes. If they want to take the risk of getting concussed, it's no different than men taking the risk of dying in the ring. Everybody taking the risk of dying in the ring, because that's That's on the table. Let me turn this phone off. When you're fighting, dying on the ring in the ring is on the table. That's understood, and it's understood by all the boxers that is a possibility that could happen, and they cool with it. You know, they go with that. I don't know why I can't cut this phone off. Damn. So excuse me ahead of time for the noise. But Conor Benn versus Algieri. Now Conor Benn is supposed to be Matchroom's answer to Bud and Errol Spence, but he's not. He's not. Conor Benn is aggressive. I see all kinds of holes in what he do. I do not see nothing spectacular. I think he's aggressive and he's strong and he got youth on his side. He'll be better off fighting somebody like Virgil Ortiz because they both, to me, in a sense, got the same qualities. Andrew Charles said 3-minute rounds would allow the elite women to separate themselves from the comp better. True that, indeed. I mean, like I said, if you could do the same amount of minutes in MMA or kickboxing as the men, what's the difference with boxing? If you're going to get concussed, I mean, you signed up for it. Also, like I said, everybody know in boxing, anything can happen. You can get seriously hurt where you're like maimed or, concussed or even deaf. And everybody knows that and accepts that when they decide to be in this sport. Remember, we always say boxing is not something you play. It's something you do. And if you're not ready to do it, you should never climb between them ropes, ever. So, shout outs to the ladies. But to all the ladies that's watching this or here, like I would say, you guys got to find a way to be more strategic and do different things in that 2 minutes, inside that 2 minutes. But just going at each other's head, the sport is not going to gain traction doing that. It just makes it boring. I'm just being honest. Not that they are boring, just that style of fighting. Conor Benn versus Algieri. Like I said, Conor is aggressive. Eddie wants him to be the answer. He wants it to be Bud, Errol, and Conor Benn. Not he could barely fight or deal with Granados, and I said deal with him because you see the objective that Conor Benn brings into the ring. He's trying to knock your head clean off. He wants a knockout. He wants that flashy shit. I don't think he think about everything else. I don't see that he's a person that like to break his opponent down. I don't see strategy. I don't see creativity. And if you're gonna be a superstar, I think that's what you have to have. But he is aggressive. He will pressure you, and he can get some novice out of there. But none of that's gonna help if you're fighting Errol Spence or Bud Crawford or even Gerard Ennis. You got to think, Sean Porter is the ultimate pressure fighter. And if Errol can handle it and Bud can handle it, what is Conor Benn going to do? Because if he fought Sean Porter, I don't know if he was be able to do the things he do, to be honest. And he fought Algieri. Now, I know Algieri had a fight before this fight. I don't know how long before, but not that long before. But Algieri, he's okay. Algieri, even in his prime, was fundamentally sound. But Algieri wasn't a huge name. What made Algieri great? He understood boxing. From whence he came, he was able to do a lot. He could hang in there with the big guys for a little bit. But, he was an educated man. He would have probably been better at commentating. And I think if you're a professional fighter and then you go into commentating, I think it makes for a great commentator versus somebody who's never fought. People who have never fought and break into commentating, they get their bones as they have experience with it. But a fighter who becomes a commentator is good, right out the rip. Like, I'm gonna tell you, one of the best commentators to me, and I know the world, we're supposed to be mad at him, but what's his name? Paulie Malignaggi. I miss Paulie. I ain't gonna lie. I miss Paulie commentating the fights. I learned so much listening to him. Paulie knew boxing. He knows it. He's like he has a PhD in the shit. And unfortunately, Paulie showed his true colors, and that got him out of there. Because now you have to wonder. You don't want to have to wonder about your commentator. Are they just being biased? And as humans go, we all can be biased, and you don't want that, because a commentator can be calling the fight, and that's what people remember here. So they calling the fight, and they bias for someone or against somebody, and that can make the fight look like how they call it. Like, they're painting the picture when they're commentating. So because people, sometimes you can get caught up in the fight. You don't need to be scoring. You know what I'm saying? You just spectating, but you also listening. Part of spectating is listening. Andrew Charles said it was a good, clean win for Ben. I think Ben is a contender. Yeah, I'm almost about to call his ass a prospect too. Lewis, my favorite commentator, always focus on what's happening in the ring. Indeed, I like him too. He was a great replacement. Sean is okay. Sometimes I like listening to Timothy Bradley. I ain't gonna lie. Ah, my arm, y'all. Whew, I got that booster shot, but not in that arm. This arm hurt like hell. My left arm hurt. Got the booster shot over here. All it did was make me sleepy. So I'm like way tired today. Just from getting the shot. I don't know why that would make me sleepy. But I came through it good. No problem. Didn't get sick. I'm the person that should be sick. In fact, I have to be like, when I answer the questions, I'll be like, nope. Because they be asking questions on those fill out those preliminary sheets before you get it. And it could cancel you out from getting the damn shot, period. So I'll be leery of how I answer the question, because I'll be like, the goal is to get my shot. Now, I know everybody else feel the way they feel about their vaccines. That's you. That's cool. I just so happen to feel I'd rather be on the safe side. Ain't nothing happened to me. I got my other 2 shots earlier this year. And I think the second shot was in March. So I've been good for over 6 months. And I got the booster shot. So, but like it's a little sore, it's a teeny bit in the area where the needle went in, but it's no different than when I get a needle, anywhere else. Wherever the needle go in, it's a little tender or sore. But my left arm, god damn, I feel like I broke it. I don't know, it hurts that bad. Anyway, so yeah, back to commentating. I wish Paulie could come back to Showtime. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. But it seemed like I learned something, and it seemed like he calls the fights down the middle when he's on that. And like my boy Andrew just said, Lewis, Lennox Lewis do a good job too. So Conor he's just a regular fighter, y'all. He's a straightforward pressure fighter, no special effects. I would not call him a boxer, not just yet. I mean, he has pressure. He has power. The problem with power is, what about when you run across that guy who can take your power and dish out power? Can you take theirs? Now what you gonna do? And that's what I'm saying. When it gets into those type of situations, that's what I'm looking for in a boxing, to be able to say, oh, he the goods. And I cannot say that about Conor Ben. He all right. Now I understand he's calling out Adrian Broner. I understand that Adrian Broner has recently said he's coming back, and he gave a time frame, approximately around March. He hasn't given an opponent. He did give a weight class, which is 140 and 135 maybe. But pretty much I think he's going to fight around at 140. Here's the thing though. Conor Benn is at 147. So you calling out AB for the check of it all. For the money inside from a dog's pocket. That's what you calling out AB for. You're not calling out for your legacy or whatever, in my opinion. It's just the money. It's just the shine. This is the fame and the entertainment part. This is what you're calling him out for. And if he's a boxer, you have a right to do that. But the man said he was going to be fighting in a different weight class than you. So to me, I'd be like, why call him out? There's other fighters you could call out, like Virgil Ortiz or Jaron Ennis. They are always looking for opponents. And they in your weight class. So you can go ahead and, chop it up with them, get a fight. I'm sure they will oblige you, especially if they don't have no fights right now. You have that box off going on. You got some of them guys, Buetev, who's standing on this, and I'm sure I won't name Ugas for you because those guys, Ugas, Spence, and Crawford, they shouldn't be thinking about none of y'all. They should be thinking about each other. And hopefully Ugas get through his box off and don't lose his belts, because then we have to throw that person in the mix. The top three people with the belts, are the Spence, Bud, and then whoever got this WBA. Ugas has it right now. And to me, it's better for them to pay attention to each other. They shouldn't be looking at Boots Ennis. Even though Boots is calling them out, they shouldn't be looking at him, because we want undisputed. We would think that that's what they want. And they can't do that, keep stopping what they're doing, looking at this person, looking at that person. So when it comes to Conor Benn, you got plenty of 147 people you can call out. I get why you trying to call out AB, but I don't get it at the same time, because he's not in your weight class. He's not trying to be in your weight class. So now you're looking like a fool, when you do that. PGH Big Dog is in the building. He says, salute Queen T. Salute to you too, King. He's giving a shout out to Andrew Charles and the fam. So yeah, Conor Benn was doing that. And like I said, I wrote down a bunch of notes. Conor was the aggressor throughout the fight. There was a second round knockdown, which was funny, because he knocked him down so hard. Oh boy, rolled from the middle of the ring into the ropes. Probably almost out the ropes. Andrew Charles said, my brother at PGH Big Dog. That was funny. And I, when they played the replay, it's a little bit of a slippage, but here's the thing. Conor landed a punch on you right before all that. So it has to be considered a knockdown. It has to be. Now, Algieri is easy to look good off of. Again, Conor Benn is not a boxer. He's a pressure fighter. He has power. I'm not picking up boxing skills. He comes forward. I give him about 3-4 bags in his tool bag, 3-4 tricks out of his tool bag. And after that, what he gonna do when he finds somebody to hit as hard as him, or somebody who can take his punch and hit hard as him? Now what he gonna do? That's the point. He's in the same category to me as a Virgil Ortiz. Conor Benn had a great showing. Highlight KO, but don't say you want the best and say AB name. I agree. That's the part that fuck my whole head up. Super Bros X in the building was popping, King. He said, salute Miss T. Yeah. So the two ain't matching what your words are saying, and and the picture they trying to paint of you. You want the best, but you asking for AB. AB hasn't fought in a while. I'm sure that's to your advantage. AB hasn't said, I'm coming back to 147, and you're 147. And like I said, you have Boots and you got Ortiz. You got Buetev. You got Stanionis. After Earl and Bud and Ugas do what they do, then I guess you can try to ask for those fights. But you got to get the people right up under them. He's not that great of a fighter. He's He's two-dimensional at best. I'm not knocking him. I'm not saying he ain't good. What makes him good is his youth. Youth make everybody good. And that's all he got right now. He can hit hard. He knows some fundamental skills. And, most people he get in where he can hit harder than them. But then we really can't say because he hasn't really fought nobody of note that can, hit just as hard as him. I can say he ain't fought nobody because I don't like to say that, but he hasn't fought any of the top tier fighters. Let me just say it like that. Michael Fuller in the building was popping king. He said, Comey is punch drunk, physically inept fighter at this point in his career. He honestly is in danger fighter, in my opinion. He needs to retire. Nevertheless, Loma will probably get the title shot. We gonna see. And fuck Lomo with PGH. That overrated, overhyped, great white hype should have stopped Comey. Comey is sea level at this point. Kambosos gonna duck Haney too. Oh, I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. I sincerely hope not. But here's the thing. The one problem I have with Devin is we do all agree that people duck Devin. We agree. We do all agree that Devin is a superb boxer and can probably beat anybody. We all see that. What I didn't like what Devin do is I know these people ducking him, and I'm talking top tier, but he doesn't, if he don't get the fights with them, he's dormant. I didn't like that. I did not like that because there's other fighters who would gladly jump on that opportunity. They might not be the top tier fighters, but any fighter, Floyd, I'm sure, had fighters that wasn't considered top tier. You have to sometimes take what you can get. But I'm not saying that the path and how they running their business is not working, because clearly it's working. But I just didn't like him just sitting around waiting. And there was a lot of people he asked though. But when you get past the notable names, Ryan wasn't going to fight him. Tank ain't going to fight him. And it don't matter the reason. Teofimo won't fight him. Who else? Lomo didn't want to fight him. Whatever the reasons they could say, there's people other than them that ranked under them. Because I'm sure if he'd have asked Cruz, he would have fought him. I'm sure he would have asked others, they would have fought him. I just didn't like, for to be so young, you should be fighting as much as you can, especially when you destroying the people and not taking much wear and tear in the process. You should, if you knock somebody out in the first or second round, I should see you back at least a month and a half later. Should. He said Haney is not getting the Kambosos fight. Loma would get it before him. That could probably be true. Ashley Ray. I just figured out, my kid told me that those type people might be bots. Don't know why they on my joint, but hey, welcome bot. But anywho, so Ben and Algieri, again, when the first knockdown came in the second round, he tumbled. He tumbled into the ropes. Almost went out the ropes, it looked like to me. But he tumbled from the middle of the ring, almost to the out the ropes. And of course, he kind of disputed it. He jumped up and he was like, yo, that was Chris Algieri kind of disputing it. And the ref counted it as a knockdown. And I do too. And it was a slip. I see why he said it was a slip. But before you slip, or simultaneously as you were slipping, oh boy hit you. So you got to count it as a knockdown. To be fair. Excuse me. In the fourth round, Conor threw a straight right and caught him flush and KO'd him. Like straight right up at him. Caught him flush and KO'd him. But I always feel like if you were a top tier fighter, anybody could have done that to Algieri. Like I said, he lasted as long as he did with Spence, but Spence was hurting him. If you look at all his fights, he tried to last a long time, but it's like a struggle. But he's very calm. Most other people probably could panic. He's calm. He's trying to get on his toes. He's trying to fight you back, but the barrage is coming. And that's kind of what it looked like when Spence beat him, when and when Pacquiao beat him, and just when anybody beat him, that's what he looks like. But shout out to him. This fight was harder because he's older. He's 37, and when he got hit, he was knocked the fuck out. He was hurt. Now, do I think Conor beat him better than Spence did? And if that's what Conor was thinking or celebrating, because he was really celebrating like he just beat Spencer Crawford or somebody top tier. And I was like, why is he all happy like that? Like, okay, it's just Chris Algieri. And then I realized, like, oh, he's probably trying to make that comparison. Well, this is what I got to say about it. Ain't no comparison. You caught an older man who had been out the game for a while. I don't think it's a comparison. If you fought Spence, I think Spence will murder you. I think Spence will destroy you. Easily. Very easy. Spence can outbox you. He got more bags, more tricks in his bag, or tools in his bag that he could pull out on Conor Benn. Conor Benn could come forward. He could put pressure on you. He could hit hard. And he's young. That's it. That's the special effects. Nothing else. Y'all heard it here first. Nothing else. But Algieri is another one that needs to hang up his gloves. Now, we just talked about Hank Lundy. You need to go ahead and hang up them gloves, dog. And so do Algieri. You need to go ahead and hang up your gloves. You guys are done. I mean, go to Algieri. You could be a commentator for real. But I don't know if that's something you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's no need for y'all to even try to get back in the ring. Karseek said, dang, Miss T, give him some hope. Can't do it. Can't do it because that guy Davies who fought Lundy, who is he? What was so spectacular? He could box. But what was so spectacular about him? He just threw his hands. And he caught Lundy. And Lundy never recovered, even though he knocked him out for good in the second round. So you had a time to go to your corner, regroup yourself, come back out, and the dude was too much. But then I think about that dude that just beat Lundy, and I was like, who else in the division he could beat? And I couldn't think of nobody. Top tier, that Yeah, Michael Fuller. Hank looked bad. He looked terrible. Very terrible. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shout outs to Corey Daniels. Thank you for the Cash App. You sent 10 Z's. You sent a 10 Z. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And all y'all money to the Cash App do support the channel. Like this lovely green screen behind. I got tripods sitting on either side. They do go back into the channel. And I thank you. Michael Fuller said another punch drunk fighter, in my opinion, should retire. Yeah. But of note, if you got Showtime, they replayed the Tank Davis fight. So for all of us who got Showtime, that replay happened Saturday. It's gonna be playing all week here and there, early in the morning, in the middle of the night, sometimes in the afternoon. You can DVR it. So if you didn't pay for the fight last week and you want to review the fight and take a look back at it, it's not gonna show the whole card, but it do just show Tank and Isaac Cruz, which was an excellent fight. It was a good competitive fight. As I told you, I've been looking at Isaac for a minute, and this dude, he's a force to be reckoned with. Is he the best boxer? No, but he a pressure fighter in the way you like. You know, he's a combination of a lot of dudes. So that was cool. You know, but that came on this weekend right before the other festivities kicked in or kicked off. That Showtime was playing, and Showtime had the the Donaire fight, and that card. Mm-mm-mm. But it repeated, so that's to give y'all a heads up so y'all can go tape it, go back. It's on demand too. You can go look at it on demand. I don't know how y'all do it, but you know, I'm sure y'all know how to get to Showtime on demand and check it out. Now let's talk about my boy Brandon Lee. Oh my God. Oh my God. I've been looking at him as much as I've been looking at Tank. Here he go. Here he go. He the one in the middle. That's his pops over here. Now, Brandon Lee is Asian. I don't know what type. I don't know if he's Korean. I don't know if he's Japanese. I really don't know. I don't know what he is, so I'm not even going to guess. But the motherfucker, I like to call him light chocolate. Soon as he started talking, you know where his bread is butter. This dude is black. I don't care what nobody say. This dude, as soon as he started talking, you can hear the influence. You can see the influence. When I tell you this dude is awesome, I was going to sit here and tell you all the stuff he can do. But let me give a comparison of him to somebody else when I'm saying they pretty much alike. Boots Ennis, we all heard of Boots Ennis. Well, at the 140 division, this guy right here, y'all be out on the lookout for him. The one in the middle, Brandon Lee, is like the Boots Ennis at the 140 division. No bullshit. The dude, what can he do? He's always gonna be first. He's a stickler with that jab, and he has a stiff one. He put that jab out. He follows that jab up. He knows all the fundamental ways you can hit. He fights off the back foot very easy. He can fight going forward. He set traps. He move his head. He doesn't keep it on the line. He knows what to do if he fighting a southpaw versus an orthodox person. Brandon Lee has been fighting on ShoBox. And I know there's ShoBox and then there's the Showtime fights they show at night. Well, if you're on ShoBox, I mean, you're kind of good. They give you some little airtime or whatever. But only the so-called contenders or elites pretty much go to the nighttime viewing on Showtime. And he has just graduated. This is his first fight at night on Showtime. So that's a graduation of sorts. He deserved it. This dude will frustrate you. What I like about him is I like his physique. He doesn't look short. I don't know how tall he is, but to me, he looks like a taller guy than most 140 pounders. And he's seen medium build, like he got the perfect physique. The one thing somebody can say, he don't stay on his toes all the time, but he is a puncher. And this is the beauty of it. He's a boxer first. He's a boxer / puncher. He could do them both. He can outbox you very easy, but he can punch the shit out you. He got power with his punches. And so at first when I would see his feet be flat, I would say, oh, he's just sitting down on his punches. That's when he hurting you. He knocks out damn near everybody he faced. He's 24-0 with 22 KOs. That ought to tell you something. Now, this is the first time he fought at night on Showtime. So I'm sure a lot of eyes were put on him. But I've been watching him for a minute. This dude is a beast. When Devin, Tank, all of them move up to 140, this the guy they got to go through. This the guy that they probably could have to face. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't... Dude is awesome. He is awesome. Michael Fuller said, you always rain on the parade. He said, he isn't black when he goes to corporate America for employment. or to the bank for a small business loan. Micah, you need to relax. You too serious, my brother. When you hear this man talk, if I close my eyes, I swear he was black. I swear he was black, and it ain't faking. It's genuinely him. That's why I call him light chocolate. Michael say, there's a lot more to being black than talking black or adopting the black style of fighting. You black. When the police stop you, when you haven't done anything and you still fear for your life. Michael, you're going to have to find or carve out some happiness for yourself. I'm just bothering you. Look, you too serious. Some people are not serious. I'm not serious. I know the man is Asian. I'm saying I can tell culturally, I could tell who he been hanging with or who he been around, and that's not a bad thing. He's an American, and that's what I see. So, I mean, you guys, some people look at the glass half empty. I look at it half full. I'm optimistic, and that's who I am. Man, you can be so serious that life just passed you by. I'm not that type of person. I want to enjoy every moment. Super Bros X said, do you think he can beat Lorenzo Truck Simpson? I'm not sure. Because I've never, to be honest, I've heard of Truck. And I've heard great things. And I might have saw a sparring or two of his. But I have not seen him in a fight. Not yet. And if I did, I probably just didn't recognize his name or something. But I've been watching Brandon Lee. The dude, I'm at the point where I'm looking at him like, what can he do? He frustrates you. He will, you don't have to tell him, Brandon, be first. He'll do that all night. He doesn't move that fast. He don't need to. You will wind down to his pace. He will frustrate the hell out you. He'll beat on you until he's ready to get you up out of there. He in total control the whole time. If y'all look at his fight this past weekend, total control the whole time. The dude is 22 years old. I think he's a boxer puncher because he can box. I clearly see that, but he also can punch. I've seen fights where he was just on his punching shit, and Saturday night he was on his boxing shit. They went 7 rounds, which is like 4 or 5 more than he normally go, because usually he gets you out of there in the first or second round. Like I said, I've seen a lot of his fights. He's in the 140. He's quick, to get you out of there. Now he's 24-0 and 22 in knockouts. The dude is awesome. And he's also a junior in college. See, I'm an academic, so I like stuff like that. That impresses me. It don't have to impress you guys. I'm just giving you extra info. That's it. He's a junior in college. And after he finished that, his bachelor's. Then he's going to go and try to get his master's in business. And in that way, he's kind of similar to Algieri, because that's what Algieri was doing. Algieri was going to college and boxing, and maybe boxing helped fund him while he was in school. Algieri wound up getting a master's degree. And so, Algieri probably knew in the beginning he was never the creme de la creme. So he did what he could do. He hung in there, made a little name for himself, and got a degree on that ass. So I ain't mad at that at all, because it is life after boxing. But his daddy trains him, talking about Brandon Lee. And Brandon is awesome. I'm telling y'all. That's the man. So whoever's call himself running up to the 140 division, you have to see this man. And the reason why it's like that, because Josh Taylor is still the undisputed person in the 140 division. After Josh, completes his obligation that he has with what's his name, Catterall. After he fights him, ain't no telling what Josh gonna do. Josh is favored to win. If he could lose or he could win. If he wins, he's gonna drop the belts and more than likely go up to 147. So if he drops the belts, it's all scattered. Now, game on. But if Catterall win, then it's a continuation. Now, everybody, he going to be the Willy Wonka or whatever, or the Chocolate Factory dude or whatever. He's gonna be the hot ticket item like George Kambosos. So that's what's going on. So all these other fighters, Regis Prograis included, everybody else in the 140 division, they just fighting each other, as they should. Fight each other. Whoever's the top dog, fight them. Well, we know the top dog is Josh. And until you get that golden ticket, y'all got to fight each other. So that's why I say, I don't know if some of these folks want to move up so quickly. And because they got to see, they got to see Brandon. Brandon is not easy. You have to look at this young man like, what can't he do? He's like a complete fighter, and I hate to even say it because he's 22. The same thing we say about Devin. He's such a superb boxer. You would say that about Brandon. And Brandon got power, though. So all those 135s is eyeballing recklessly, I think, to 140 division. That's who y'all got to face. That's who y'all, and if you avoid him, we'll know. Because, like I said, he was doing showbox. He wasn't getting a lot of light. You know, the commentators, Al Bernstein, Ray Ronaldo, whatever his name is, he knew. Abner Mars, all of them knew about this guy. Ben knew about him. And because they would be commentating sometimes when he's fighting. But I know a lot of us didn't know because he wasn't making the nighttime runs. Now he is. And I'm telling y'all, just like I said about Cruz, I'm telling y'all, this dude, Brandon, is the goods. Because I'm like, if he fought Josh, I could see him competing. If he fought Regis, I could see him competing. If he fought Devin, oh, that would be a great fight. Because they both are superior boxers. I could see him competing. If he and Devin were to fight, I would actually have him winning. For the sure power of it all, because he has power. We know he has power. And he could be one of them fighters that get power drunk, just always want to hit somebody with his power shot. No, he sits there and box you. He could turn it on and off. The dude is a superb fighter, and I will follow his career with joy. I'm going to move on to Jared Anderson now. What an entertainer. What an entertainer. What an entertainer. He comes in the ring just like a pimp. He put me in the mind, not that he looked like him, but just the style, the way he was walking. I'm trying to imitate it. I hope I'm imitating. He had a smooth ass pimp. The way he was walking was kind of like a Huggy Bear. Or the one who was on I'm Gonna Get You Sucker when he got out of jail, and he was like, he knew he was fine as hell, and he just started walking, and he had the fish in his shoes. That's exactly what I thought about. I was like a bit curious, like how was he holding that cane? Because the thumbs are attached to the glove. I was like, how is he holding that cane? But it was cool. It was entertaining. I like the colors. I like the all white. The fluffiness. I mean, the outfit. It just caught my eye. So he knows algorithms. Jared Anderson knows algorithms. So to the fighters who know that, Rolly Romero knows algorithms. You know what I'm saying? And those type of fighters, they're going to be big. They're going to be considered elite. Even if they're not, they're going to be considered elite because they're sellable. They're going to get you to buy. They're going to get you to watch. Andrew say this was the best shape I seen Anderson walk into the ring. Yeah, he was happy. But here's the thing. He is a future champion. I believe that. He has all the potential in the world. But I done seen 2 fights of his now. And some shots that he take, he shouldn't have never took. So I say my only complaint about Jared Anderson, he need to get his head off the line. He stayed there too long, and if that was somebody like Deontay Wilder, he would have been asleep. Straight up. I mean, because the guy was easily just jabbing him and catching him. And Anderson, he places his feet well. He can move around. He got power. He got power. He's very confident. and all that stuff. But some of them punches that guy hit you, and what the guy name was, Teslenko. Teslenko. We never heard of him before. Probably won't hear of him again. But he was catching you with a couple of jabs that he should not have caught you with. And again, if had it been Deontay or somebody, could have been sleep. But Jarrett, he knows, he like I said, he knows algorithms. He know how to look and sell himself in the ring and coming into the ring. Just a combination of it all. He styled and profiled on the dude, and he was in a good mood at the end when he gave his interview and all that. And so to those fighters that think you got to be mad and angry and acting crazy and shit, y'all know who I'm talking about. Look at how he act. And he could be mad and he could be angry. Matter of fact, some of the commentators was like, he's mean as a bitch. I didn't see it. They talk about mean in the ring. Let me be clear. But he could turn that meanness on. He could turn it off too. And that's, to me, is a plus. You know what I'm saying? But he did his job. He had somebody in there who wasn't on his level, and he got them out of there quickly. That's all you can ask. It's all you can ask. When you get in that fight with somebody who's not on your level, you have to finish them. I keep saying that. But when we get to Loma, let me tell y'all why. Andrew Charles say, I seen all this fight. He's been showing consistent improvement, and his confidence is on point. But he's still green, indeed. Because I'm going to tell y'all, I told you I train boxers too. I'm training to be a coach, or I'm going to get my license as a boxing coach. One thing that they tell you, don't keep your head on the line. You always have to move. Even when, you got to move. You got to be able to time when you're going to throw your jab and how you move. You can't just throw your jab and be, head straight. You got to get the head off the line. That's boxing 101. I know he knows this. And I know he's been told this. That's them green rookie mistakes that somebody going to make you pay for. Remember when Floyd said, if you make any mistakes, you don't need to be in there with me. Or if you make any mistakes, you must pay. Remember when he said that? That's the attitude of most boxers, to capitalize off of your mistakes. Remember how I was just talking about Brandon Lee? I can't say that about him. I cannot say he's a person you can capitalize off his mistakes. I can't. Can he make a mistake? He's 22 years old, of course. Boots made a mistake. And Boots is young too. When you're young, these are the things that happen. But you got to pay attention to detail. That means you got to pay attention to every little minute detail, as well as the big ones. Because you never know, the one you don't pay attention to, that's the one you're going to pay for. And again, them couple of jabs that guy, Teslenko, I want to say Teslenko. Teslenko, that's his name. Teslenko was able to pop a couple of stiff ones in Jarrett's face. Now, depending on who that is, it could have been night-night. Why? Because Jarrett don't move his head like he should. Now, he's young, because Jarrett is also like 22 or something like that. Young guy. And that means, shit, he can only get better. He's already pretty good. He can only get better. He don't even, as y'all say, have his man strength. But that fundamental part of boxing, moving your head offline, I don't know what's going on with that one. You should know that. There's certain things you just should know before you get in the ring. And if you're not practicing them, it'll show up in the ring. And so that's what that tells me. You're not, even when you're sparring or practicing or whatever you're doing, you just keep your head in the middle and you're going to pay for that. Andrew Charles said Jarrett got a stiff jab. he utilizes it. Yeah, because he want to look flashy and knock folks out. But even when he jabbing, he don't move his head. I'm telling you, he gonna get caught one day. And they were like, what happened? He moved his head. Now, the fight that was the big brouhaha was Crawley versus Abduke. I'm going to just say that because I can't say the rest of this dude's name. Y'all know who he is. I'm going to try to say it once. Abduke Korov. And I might have said that right. I apologize if I said it wrong. But this shit is hard. I'm going to say Abdu. That's what I'm going to call him, Abdu. Well, you know, he was the mandatory for Errol Spence. And the word on the street is that he was kind of doing a little cherry picking. I don't know the whole story, but this is what I heard. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really be sure. But he was kind of doing a little cherry picking. Just a little skosh. Just a little cherry picking. And he cherry picked his way into an asshole. That can happen, right? And get exposed. Andrew Charles said he jabbed the hell out of a couple of guys in some of his early fights. Yeah. Oh, Jared is on his way. He just better tighten up on a few details and all that. Just tighten up. He's young. He got the attitude you should have as a young up-and-coming fighter. He just got to tighten up a few details. But Abdu was going to get a mandatory with Errol Spence. And as we know, Errol Spence will be back in February. This is what he's saying. And Errol said, I don't need no tune-up. I don't need no tune-up. Put him in the ring, I'm going to knock him down. Tell him about the gun line, boss. When you step inside the gun line, you're going to catch all the smoke. And Errol Spence feel that way. I don't need no tune-up. They're going to step across that gun line, and I'm going to give it to him. And guess what? Abdu was like, me first. I'll be your huckleberry. Errol said, I don't need no tune-up. But Abdu would have kind of been a tune-up, because we know Earl will kill this dude. We know it. But he was a mandatory, so it kind of took the shine off of being a tune-up, because he is the mandatory. All the fighters have mandatories, whether they like it or not. And, you know, to maintain their status and rank in whatever they have to face their mandatories. Okay. I think I read that. Okay. So Abdu was slated to be his mandatory, but I guess he wanted to get one more fight in. One more again. And he kind of cherry-picked his way into a corner. Because I think he thought that Crawley was going to be a pushover. Now, what we know about Crawley? Crawley spent a lot of time in the Mayweather gym. Crawley is from Canada. Crawley has serious goals that he means come hell or high water, he's going to achieve it. Crawley wants to be a champion, and he don't give a damn what he got to go through to get to it. He has sparred a lot with Mayweather. And you don't do that and walk away empty-handed. You walk away with knowledge and experience, and you're the better for it. So he's been sparring Mayweather since the Pacquiao fight. That was 2015. He sparred him during Conor McGregor. This guy got to be something, because he keep getting called back for sparring. But so he got experience. It's just like what they say about Kambosos. He got all this experience. Why? Because he sparred a lot with Pacquiao. And you just can't spar with people that's like great like that and don't come away with no experience. You guys do me a favor. It's Christmas time. It's coming up, right? And all I ask for Christmas is for you to smash the like button and subscribe if you never have subscribed before. So smash the like button while you're up in chair. Hit it. Hit it. Hold it now. Hold it now. Hit it. Let's think about the Beastie Boys. Hey, Leroy. You know what? It's my time. Anyway, Abdu was going to be the mandatory, so now that's gone. Now, my question is, the person who beat him, do he become the mandatory automatically, or do it just kind of start the process kind of over, like you got to work your way back up to being the mandatory or activating the mandatory? We do know these sanctioning bodies, they can convene a panel and pick from their top 5 who will be the mandatory. So if not Abdu, then who? But as I said, we all know that Earl said he don't need a tune-up, that he just ready to get right into it. With him losing that fight, we don't have to worry about Abdu. So what that means for us, it means even more that Earl and Bud can get this fight and get it together. Again, I won't concentrate on who's the A side or whatever, because that gets tricky and I really don't want to have those type of arguments. All I want is for them to get in that ring. That's it. That's all we want. We want that for our birthdays next year, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, whatever, Memorial Day, whatever, all the holidays, Veterans Day, 4th of July, whatever, Labor Day. That's the gift that Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol the True Spence can give to us. And that's the sign on the dotted line to get this thing popping, on and popping. And the stars are lining up like that's what it's supposed to be, right? Because his Mando ain't his Mando no more. That's one thing that could be possibly in the way. Earl was gonna fight Ugas, and that was cool. I thought that was fair, and Ugas had a belt. I wouldn't have mind if Bud went for it. It don't matter, as long as both of them get in the ring eventually. But he was gonna fight Ugas, but Ugas got the box off, so that fell through because we know that the WBA did not leave him of that obligation. So, like, who else you gonna fight? What else you gonna do? Bud. So that's all we can hope. Now, do I get into the minutia of who's A side or whatever? If you want to say Earl is the A side, he got two of the Hardwells. Bud only has one. I'm cool with that. I don't care. 40% of 100 million, because this is what I think that fight would make it more. That's a lot of money. So they both gonna be rich. They ain't cutting us in on the check, so I ain't even gonna waste my time or effort. I'll believe it when I see it, though. It's one of them things at this point I'll be like, I'll believe it when I see it. I really do gotta just wait and see. Andrew Charles said, I have no idea what's the next move at welterweight is going to be. Hopefully it's Earl and Bud. Hopefully. Now, we're going to be wondering the same thing when it comes to Kambosos. Because, I don't know if he going to still be singing the same tune he was singing before he left. Like, yeah, he ready to get it in with Devin. But as one of y'all mentioned, that probably won't even happen. And that's unfortunate. Now, I would say this. If Devin don't get that fight with Kambosos, Devin and Lomachenko got to fight. They got to. I know that's saving Tank. Tank and Lomachenko got to fight. These people got to fight. They got to. And the thing I don't like about Lomachenko is he allowed for them to, put him on a pedestal that he didn't deserve at the moment. I find that weird. It's like, you're not going to be like, and now we have Miss T, the new CEO of Johnson & Johnson. And I be like, what? No, I'm not. The new police commissioner, Miss T. No, I'm not. The new whatever that I have not earned the spot. You're not giving me shit. And I found that weird. Now people can say, well, he just didn't protest hard. He was actually walking around like he believed the hype. We know why they elevated him, and that's not his fault. He's probably going to catch favor like that no matter where he go in the world. He got the complexion for the protection. It's not his fault. But to allow it, and then to try not to earn it, and then you be grimy with your shit. You don't offer nobody rematches, but you almost threw a whole tantrum when T.O. beat your ass, and you wanted a rematch. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else was talking, like, just to prove a point. I forgot which show I saw this on, but I didn't create this content. They were saying that it might have been Drew Titan. They were saying that, look, his first bout as a professional was for a title. So he must have, if he gained it, he lost it. He lost it to his second fight because he lost to Salido. For those of you who don't remember Salido, look him up. Mexican fighter. Kind of like a journeyman. He's pressure fighter. Dude was okay, but he won't top tier. Lost to him. Third fight was Gary Russell. He won to him. But he wants, when people ask for stuff, but they're not willing to give it, I has a problem with people like that. Them shits, that's just not cool. How you fix your mouth, gather the spit up in your mouth to ask for rematches, and you yourself do not give them. It makes me look at him sideways. And then I'm telling you guys, I read something about him because somebody made a comparison between him and Floyd. And they said he's better than Floyd could have ever wished to be. And I was like, what? Pretty boy Floyd? What? Money made? No. So it made me go start looking him up, looking up Loma Chico, right? And, when I look people up, I just be asking all kinds of questions about them. And I said the net worth. And that shit said at the time $25 million. That was years ago. Now if you look up his net worth, it ain't that much. It ain't 25 million. But I promise you that that's what it said years ago. And I was like, this motherfucker barely got 7 fights. And that's how much he's worth? How? So when they be saying there's no racism in boxing, that's not true. When Floyd used to say, if I was white, I would be a billionaire, I believe him. Again, Loma Chico didn't ask to be in the shell that he's in no more than any of us. If that's how they want to treat him, and he's saying, fuck it, I take it how I can get it. Who amongst us would actually do different? I don't know. But I'm not going to give it to him because he has the complexion for the protection. And I just haven't seen, he still ain't at 20 fights. What, he at 17 now? He was at 16 with T.O. 17, 18. He about at 18 now. So I still can't put him up there, even though I know that's what they're doing. Technically, it's not his fault because he didn't ask to be here. But it's kind of his fault when he let shit continue on some fugazi shit. Like, I would be embarrassed. I would be like, nah, I gotta fix that. Because I'm not the creme de la creme. I gotta make what they're saying about me. I gotta have the documentation to make that true. And I've never seen him interested in doing that. So my hate on him is basically, I don't believe he's the creme de la creme like they say. Now, having said that, that motherfucker got some awesome ass footwork. He probably one of the best foot placement person, like from the waist down in boxing, period. And I'm talking across all weight divisions. Now, I know they be like, well, that makes him, the creme de la creme. No, I'm saying he is good at that, but there's others who's just as good. But he's one of the best. He could arguably be the best when you talk about moving the other feet. But you know what? It's crazy because in boxing, to be honest, one of the first and foremost attribute you must have in boxing is feet work. Leg work. Leg work before throwing of the hands. You got to be superior in your feet work and leg work if you want to be a great fighter. But I don't look at Lomachenko as somebody who has power. I don't stop it there. I don't just say, oh, he got the best footwork and that's all he need. Canelo got the best whatever work. Oh, he's pretty good from the waist up. He ain't the best though. Yeah, he can. Somebody could make that argument that he is from the waist up. He sucked from the legs down. So Lomachenko from the legs down, you awesome. You eyed up at the top. T.O. showed you that you are infallible. Fucking Gary Russell kind of showed you. As you said, I was never sold on the Loma hype, but I do like the post T.O. Loma better. Yeah, you see how red his body was? Maybe Loma could take a good punch. But I'm not buying this. Your shoulder was hurt, therefore that's why T.O. beat you. T.O. beat you because he beat you. You had to respect his power. That's what you had to do. And in the fight, I'm not making no excuses for T.O. Although we have to, and y'all don't have to, but I consider what predicament medically he was in before the fight. Now, I would have canceled it. I just would have had to take the hit. But knowing now that the motherfucker was on death's door before he even threw a punch, that's crazy. And he was able to do all that. It just makes me look at the strength and the will that he actually possesses. When I looked at that fight, I was like, George Kambosos is easy to beat. Matter of fact, I think Tanks beat him. I think Devin beats him. Shit. I think even Joe, this is going to sound crazy. I think JoJo could be some competition to him. Who else? Ryan, if you catch him. I said this as much in the last video that I did. I think these top tier 135 pounders could handle him. And they see it. Shit. They was biting at the bit. I mean, when he beat T.O., he woke Loma ass up. Loma's like, that's all I see. I want to beeline straight to Kambosos. But everybody do. But it's only fair to give it to Devin first. Devin earned it. It's fair to give him that shot first. But if they do not fight, I don't know who he would pick because Kambosos seemed to act like he want to fight Tank. I don't know if that's what he want. But he seemed to think he won't Tank. So be it. You get the Tank fight. And I need to see Loma and Devin immediately. Immediately. That's what I need to see. So that's how it's going to be. I think we finished with Crawley and Abdul. Crawley had the upset, knocking Abdul off as a mandatory for potential Earl, breaking down the barrier of Earl and Bud fighting, just helping the fight get made even more quicker. Like there's really no excuse. Then you got Ali Walsh. Now he's another one who has fought 3 times. So you got Jared, Big Baby Anderson, and you got Nico Ali Walsh, who has fought at least 6 times. I mean, 3 times in the last 6 months. It was somebody else. It was like 3 of them. Let me go back. Brandon Lee, I think he fought in the last 6 months 3 times. That's what you want to do when you're starting out fighting. And like I said in the beginning of the show, and you know, you never had a hard time of it in the ring, then go ahead on and finish that thing out. You know what I'm saying? Finish them off quickly. When you can destroy somebody, you have to do it. And then, we'll see you back in a month or 2. Get as many fights as you can in. Y'all can call in at 706-804-4449. 706-804-4449. 4449. I put the link in the chat as well. But yeah, they fought often. I like that because I'm just taking it from June, just so I don't miss what month they actually fought in. But I know I've seen them since the summer till December 3 times, each one of them. And I've seen improvement in all 3 of them. I definitely see improvement in Jarrett. I see improvement. The one I see improving the most is Nico Ali Walsh. Now, I'm talk about him. We got to get into it. And I always say, I'm going to be honest. That's Muhammad Ali's grandson, True. He know he cannot rest on those laurels alone. You know, that's your granddaddy, but that's a whole nother man. And you a whole nother man. And I guess he's so, I don't know, his belief in what he wants to achieve is genuine. That much we could say about Nico. But Nico, he very much looks like a fighter who just started fighting. He's getting better. And when I said just started fighting, meaning Nico, I don't know how old he is. I'm assuming he's like 20, 21, 22 or whatever. But he looked like he just started fighting 17, 18. You know what I'm saying? Like he hasn't been that little boy who was boxing ever since he was little. And if so, then he has a lot to learn. It's almost like he got to play catch up. I like his aggression. And you can tell that that's just his style. He's going to come for you. He ain't scared. I like that too. These are plus for Nico. And Nico will let his hands go. I like that. But Nico got to get better defense. He got to get a better defensive posture. And he does try to finish out his opponents. He does. But let's be real. They're carrying him. Kind of like what a lot of y'all say about Tank Davis being carried. They're carrying him. Meaning they're not putting him in with no real killers. He couldn't, no. If Nico weighed 160, it would be a homicide to put him in with somebody like Andrade or Charlo. You know, no. Nico is nowhere near even close to that level. But am I mad that they're carrying him? No. Because I was watching the Charlos from the beginning. And they always did well. But compared to them today, talking about their abilities in the ring, to when they was first starting out, there's a big difference. And they was being carried properly too. And carried properly don't mean ducking. Or, just trying to throw tomato cans in front of him. And then he fight like 10, 15, 20 times. And then he retire and be like, oh, I was this great fighter. No. I think Nico knows he got to show and prove. He's not a heavyweight. I think he fights in the 160 division. I believe so. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. So if can he be a person that get up to heavyweight? I think he can get up to cruiserweight or maybe light heavyweight. He doesn't strike me as a not today's heavyweight. Now, yesteryear's heavyweight, he could have been because they wasn't that big compared to nowadays. You got people like Tyson Fury be wearing like fucking 275 or something, 6'9" and 275. Dillian White like 250 or whatever, probably 6'5" or 6'6". You got Deontay Wilder that be wearing like 220 or 215, and he's 6'7". And Anthony Joshua, he be weighing like probably about like what did he weigh? Like 240 something, 242, 238, 232 or something. That's his norm. And he's like 6'6". So I mean, Nico, I don't think he'll ever be a heavyweight. Ever. But I think the most he could get up to is light heavyweight. So the 175 division. And you know what I'm saying? As long as they carrying him, it's all to the good. Don't carry him too long. You carry him too long, and it's gonna start looking like, man, fuck this shit. Y'all pulling the wool over people's eyes. So he had an opponent. You could tell that opponent does something else with his life, like, but he did okay. There was something going on with dude's eyes, though. I don't know if he was supposed to wear glasses. There was something with his eyes. So Nico, he pressured. He was the more pressure fighter and busiest fighter. He was a more busier fighter and pressure fighter. I still say they're carrying him, but he is improving. And I've seen all three of his fights. And from fight 1 to now, he is improving. His mom was on the edge of her seat. Shit. If she was on the edge of her seat for that, I don't think she could ever be watching her daddy fight. Because, damn, that was some barn burners right there. Nico ain't doing no barn burner. If he ever get in there, like I said, with a real monster, his career would be over. So they know what they're doing. And do I see potential? Yeah. The only bad thing about Nico, he has to do what we used to call OJT, on the job training. And that's what he got to do, but it's not cool, because a lot can happen on the job. On the job training. Now, let's talk about Keyshawn Davis. We know that he was an Olympian silver medalist. The boy can fight. For some reason, I thought he was out of Cali. I don't know why. But then they say he from my state. The VOT. The VA. He from VA. That's how we do. So, we got to claim it. We got to claim it when we can. The VOT. And he was fighting somebody named Saragosa. The interesting thing about Saragosa is he was a MMA fighter. I don't know if he was a big name in MMA, but he did practice or indulge in the craft of fighting that way. Dude is 33 years old. So when I say he's experienced as a combat fighter, he has that. He knows he can't do lifting of the leg or anything like that, bringing some of those MMA techniques into the boxing world. He can't do that. So it was no danger of him doing that, or I ain't see nothing like that. I don't know what made the dude switch. They didn't get into depth about that, but he should be a person who know how to take a punch, right? How many times in MMA have he gotten hit in the stomach, in the face, whatever? Sometimes that shit is more grueling than standing up boxing. Okay, but Keyshawn showed out. Keyshawn showed you his talents. He showed you what he could do. He does invest into the body. And he did that often, especially on the sides. And so he does a healthy investment of that. Keyshawn is starting to look like, too, early stages, I'm going to say. But you like, what can't this dude do? He can fight going backwards. He can fight going forwards. The dude can box. Everything you need a boxer to be able to do, Keyshawn can do. So we were able to see that. Even though the rounds, he didn't soak up a lot of rounds to get the experience. But again, when you have somebody hurt, you got to finish them. You can't linger on, because all of that will come back to bite you in the ass as far as people making assessments of you. So Keyshawn did what he was supposed to do. I believe he's in the 135 division. He signed with Top Rank, but he works with Bud and Bud folks. So you seen some of Bud coaches in that corner. That's a good thing. We know he's going to get better, because when you go up there with Bo Mack, you do come out better than when you went in. And that's, I'm not saying that because Bud is my guy, and everybody know Bud is my guy. I got Bud over everybody. But we do know, when we look at Jamel Herring and other folks, even Shakur Stevens, everybody that go up there come out better than what they went in. So shout out to the whole Bomac team and the other coaches. I know they independently are valued as well, but they are working together. And Bud was at the ringside, supporting him. And so I think he in good hands or whatever. He signed with Top Rank. His brother signed with Top Rank. Matter of fact, most of all the notable Olympians signed with Top Rank. So Bob scooped in and got that real quick. Um, he. I was just about to say that, Andrew. He said he's a big kid. He gonna be moving up eventually. Yeah, I was gonna say that the dude looked like he 154, just by stature and the way his physique is. I can see him in later in life campaigning at that, but he better enjoy this while he can. Wreck shop, run through them. Run through them top lightweights. We was hoping that everything gets shook up now. The Cambosos have the belts, but I guess Camboso gonna defend it one or two times. But I'm telling you, he get one of them top tier lightweights, he gonna be done with boxing. Period. You see what Terrence did to Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn pretty much retired. He gonna wreck shop. That's right. He gonna wreck shop. And so his opponent was easy, considering being new to boxing. But like I said, he was a person who have fought in combat sport for years, and so that's him not being able to take a punch is not because it's not like he knew the body. He should have been able to. Let me just put it that way. He just couldn't take Keyshawn punch. So let me say that Keyshawn is a force to be reckoned with, and we will be following his career too, very closely, especially since he then linked up with none other than Terrence Crawford and Bomac and all them. Okay, let me get on to Donaire and Gaballo. Donaire, the old Donaire showed up. One thing I found endearing about it is I like how he's such a family man. I really do enjoy that. I enjoy seeing it, and he's a real family man. When the fight was over, his sons got in the ring and they was like doing that battle cry. I thought that was just a beautiful father and son's moment. I was like, oh, and I know I get sentimental sometimes, but I thought it was cute. I like that about Nonito Donaire. I like that he tried to be honest. I like that he all about the clean boxing. Him and Floyd was leading the charge back in the day. Now Nonito is 39 years old, but the dude might as well be 29. Gaballo was game, but Nonito was setting traps early on, and I don't think Gaballo was picking it up. I think Gaballo was more offensive minded than he should have been. He tried to respect Nonito's power. I guess he tasted it, but he was more offensive minded. And Andrew Charles said Donaire, one of the last ones left from the previous era. Yes, he is. And I think they said he's one of the few people that you could say held the title in three different decades. So you can say that about Floyd, Pacquiao, him, Donaire, and I don't know who else. But them three, you could definitely say in 3 or more decades, they held titles or won championships. And so everybody can't say that. That's a record in itself. But how did Donaire come back down in weight? It's a record in itself. He's damn near a 40-year-old man, and he's fighting at the 118 division. Damn. But he's talking about a rematch with Inoue, which would be a good rematch. He don't mind fighting Casimero, but we all know Casimero sipping that tea. I wouldn't fight his ass either. Max Sale, who's going to fight Gary Russell, I think that's ordered. I think they fight in either January or February. Guess what? Gary, you better be on the lookout. Because that motherfucker's sipping that tea also. But if Gary beat the brakes off of him, then we all know he just got to bow down to the great Mr. Gary Russell Jr. Donaire lost, but he busted up anyway. You think he lost? I thought he won. I didn't even see the fight, but I thought he won. Ooh. My old ass dogs. Around here fighting like a motherfucker. That, ugh. I almost got to get up. This shit is right. Whew. Damn. Chloe, go. Girl, go take your ass. Hold on, y'all. Ugh. I had to tell my daughter to come get her. Whew. I'm going to tell you, I'm not getting no more dogs. I got my 2 heaters and I'm going to get a cat. That's all I'm going to get. Shit. Because I know, oh, God, she got to go away. Whew. God damn. Sorry, y'all. Like, she almost fucking made me pass the fuck out. But anyway, break. Hold on. I'm so, oops. Didn't mean to yell. Let me get this motherfucker shit. I'm sorry. Whew. Damn. Andrew said, I thought he did, but I can't confirm or deny it at the moment. Yeah, I thought he beat Inoue, and he's saying he's gonna have a rematch with him because Donaire hasn't been losing. He just gained another championship, recently. So I'm thinking he won against Inoue. And Casimiro was like, oh, I want to fight you. But dude, your head growing. And you and Magsayo, y'all all work with Mr. Manny Pacquiao, so you already know how he get down. So I hope Gary is ready for all that crap. But Donaire hit him in the 4th round with a gut shot. Bam. Liver shot, kidney shot, whatever. Hit him on the side. And dude fell, of course. He had to take a knee. And we knew it was so bad he couldn't even stand up. That's how bad Donaire is. And from what people saying who was there, it was outside, it was cold, and the fight happened too late. Like it was going too late into the night. I don't know, but Donaire, shout out to you if you still want to chase your dream and become undisputed. That's what his goal is. And I think once he achieved that goal, he might go ahead and take it back to the house and just go on and chill. Or maybe he getting this last ditch effort, getting some more little coins, some pocket change where he can get it before he go back to wherever. And for some reason, I thought Donaire was born here in the States. Definitely seemed like he was, because he don't really have an accent. He has an accent like he was born here, but they keep saying his countryman, and I was like, but I thought he was American. I mean, I know he's Filipino, but I thought he was American, so I don't really know. I thought Inoue had broken bones in his face after that fight. He might have. Donaire still got power, and the older y'all men get, y'all can get more power. Providing you stay in shape and everything. So he might got that old man strength going for him now. So let's get into the piece de la resistance. Now this fight I scored because I wanted to make sure that I was being fair. I don't really like Loma. I'm gonna say Loma put on the clinic though. Loma did that, and he looked it great. Loma got some of the best footwork in the business. Can't deny that shit. Leg work and footwork, dude, and that's what wins him his fights. Up top, I don't see him as no power puncher. I don't see nothing spectacular about how he moves his hands. It's all in them legs, y'all. And so if you're trying to, the dude is going to be a Hall of Famer for sure. He just have great leg works. I mean, he proves the point that the best attributes, if you list them in priority, it's going to be your leg work / feet work. Okay, that's number one. It's going to be your reflexes, agility, and all that stuff. It's going to be a lot of things even before you get to the hands. You just got to throw your damn hands. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of stuff that you need as a boxer, period, to be superior in this game way before you even get to throwing hands. And that's your bread and butter right there, throwing your hands, right? But if you have suck-ass leg work and feet work, you're going to suck. You're going to be beatable easily, And he's the proof. He's the prototype of when you got some good-ass leg work and feet work. And then think about the people who've had knee braces on their legs and couldn't move around and all that. They would be the prototype proving that is a must in boxing. Boxing 101. So the first round, first let me just tell you the total score. I gave Richard Commey 2 rounds in that whole fight. Two of the rounds in that whole fight were ties. They could have went either way. But 2 earned fair and square, I gave Commey 2 of those. I gave Lomachenko 8 easy. But as I said, 2 of my rounds that I scored a tie, it could have went either way. But I always edged them to Loma. So it really could have been a 10-2 affair for that night. But, 2 of them was a tie for me. 2 was Commey's legitimately. 8 legitimately was Loma. Loma beat the brakes off him. Now, so round 1. So hold on, let me get Andrew's chat. He said, I don't know if you said I'll jump right into the meat and potatoes of this topic. Kambosos said everything, but yes, I'll fight Haney since he beat Tio. I knew Loma was going to get the fight from the jump. Did we find out something? Did we find out something that Loma getting that fight rather than Devin? I hope not. I hope not. I think Kambosos is looking for the big payday. Or maybe, you just never know. It's just amazing how people be avoiding Devin. You just never know. I think that'll be highly fucked up on Kambosos' part. Yeah. That'll be highly fucked up. He gonna lose some fans and we're gonna be like, man, I hope you get the shit beat out of his ass. You gotta be fair, man. You have to give Devin a chance to unify and also become undisputed. Y'all should be going for that as fighters anyway. I don't know. That will upset me right there. Round 1. Commey threw more punches and landed more, filling out for both of them. Loma just didn't really throw no punches. Commey was throwing them. He ain't land nothing significant, nothing big, but he was throwing them nonetheless. So I gave round 1 to Commey. Round 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, not 6 and 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Loma, easy. 6 was a tie. That was a good round where they gave back and forth. They was really, going back and forth. But in the second round, Loma embarrassed Commey. He was much sharper, gave him a break in the end. Loma was like walking back to the corner 5 or so seconds before the bell rung. Loma, you showing your age on that one. A young Loma, I'm sure, wouldn't do that. But, you showing your age. You like, oh, it'll keep to the next round. And it did because he waxed his ass every round. The 6th round, Commey was like, enough already. Enough, goddammit. Let me, put some stank on it. And Loma was right there to bottle up all that stank and dish it back. And Commey fell back again. I think Commey was overwhelmed. at the foot speed and his inability to keep up with Loma. I think that's what got to him. The 8th round comes around. I gave that to Comey because Loma didn't do much. He knows he won, so he started, showing a little respect. I heard that they was friends. I hope that didn't get in the way. Now, one thing I didn't like that Loma did is in one of those rounds, and I think it was the 8th or it was the 7th. I want to say the 7th round. When he was like, come get your boy. Like, come get you. Come get him. Come get your boy. And like, y'all ain't gonna stop this fight? And we're like, nigga, your job is to fight and destroy your opponent. That's all. You know what I'm saying? But it just like, I think Loma's whole game plan in every fight he does, he wear you the fuck out. Because you're trying to keep up with this dude. You're moving to every feint. He feints like crazy. You're moving to every feint. You already know he can get angles on you. So, but you just don't want to get hit. I don't think he has like a powerful punch that he just devastates you. I think that, there was a game that we used to play when we were younger, and it was like guys would do this to girls all the time, but anybody stronger than the person, the strongest person will hold you down, right? And then they'll do, or they'll pluck your hair. And it ain't hurting you. It's not hurting you. But what you learned is if they keep doing it in that same spot over and over again, you can bruise. Just from that little pluck. You can bruise. But also that, and you blinking and you prepare for it. And you can't do shit about it. It infuriates you. Now you're emotional, right? Now you're trying to get out and you're like, get off me. You're emotional with it. And you can't do shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like how I think that Lomachenko's opponents feel in the ring. I think they get emotional and frustrated, and he wears them out with all that movement and the feints at the same time. Because it's almost like you blink, you preparing, and he's moving, and you don't know what he's going to do. And he can keep that shit up all night. So he wears you out. Now when you wore out, you show him that you're tired and wore out because you'll push your punch. You know how many times that Comey was throwing the left and took a picture? And I swear, if Loma wanted to, he could have ate his ass up so many times. He showed mercy. And you wasn't supposed to do that, Loma. But you showed mercy. I'm going to stop this damn girl. She get on my damn nerves. She don't say shit to me all day until I get on this podcast. Talking about my dog. She don't say shit to me. Oh, my God. It's really my daughter, dog. Come get this bitch. She over here messing with something. I gotta be like, girl, get off that. Made me lose track of my. But yeah, he tires you out, and you be wore out. And I don't think his punches are devastating as much as it is irritating. You're now emotional. You're fighting emotionally, and you're fighting tired. And like I said, there was so many punches that coming through that left and just left it out there. Kind of like took a picture with him leaning, meaning he was off balance. If Loma wanted to kill that dude, he could have. And Loma showed mercy, which you shouldn't have did, Loma. Because we got to look at this fight and judge you to see if you worthy of getting the Kambosos fight. And you're not. Not based on this performance. When you have somebody in front of you that you know they ain't on your level, you have to destroy them. You have to. I understand about having some passion, but you got to have the reputation too as a finisher. And, you just don't have that reputation. That's the kind of style Haney needs to adopt. A higher output to make up for his lack of power. Learn how to break these guys down. True that. That's why him and Loma would be very interesting, because they both gonna have stamina. Both are superior boxers. But who got the better footwork? I'm going to give that side to Loma. Neither one of them got power. Who could possibly set more traps? I'm going to give that to Devin. Because Loma is not a person that he's very much offensive minded. But his offense is like defense and offense rolled up into one. Whereas Devin actually can have defense and he can have, offense is two separate things. But Devin, to me, be a little bit more strategic and like he can set traps. He can be a little bit more than Loma. Loma shit just look sweet because you just don't know what the fuck he gonna do. He all over the place. Devin, amongst most fighters, is not strategic and creative, but with Loma, a little bit more. But like I said, Devin can be offensive and defensive, and Loma is just offensive, but his offense served as a defense. And it's all in his legs. It's all in Lomachenko's legs. That's 78 calling Lomachenko. That's what it is. It's all in his legs. So yes, he beat the brakes off of Comey. And I asked the question, what does his victory really mean? Not a damn thing. Till you beat somebody that the person who beat you didn't beat. Don't mean shit. You need to fight Devin. If neither one of y'all get the golden ticket to fight Kambosos. Andrew Charles said Devin got that youth. Yeah. He got that youth. And that youth means a whole lot. But we'll see. The only fight that I want to know Devin doing next is with Kambosos. In Australia, no doubt. But that's what I want to know. If he don't get that fight and Kambosos has to be very careful. Because when I say he got to know, somebody got to be in his ear telling him, all those top tier 135s can beat you. Shout it. Everybody can beat you. For real, for real. But he's like, that's okay. Everybody doubt me. I actually got more power than it looks like. I can actually bout. You cannot beat Loma. No. From what I see, you cannot beat Loma. You really can't beat Tio. If Tio wasn't sick, and I'm not making no excuses, but I really believe that. I believe in a rematch, he will beat you. But you won. You got the straps. You can't beat Tank because Tank can box. And Tank got power, something you don't have. Talking about Kambosos. I don't think you can beat Devin. I think Devin outboxes you, period. And Devin showed he could take a punch a little better than people thought he could. Even Ryan Garcia could catch your ass slipping. And he's got the speed to catch you and the pop to hurt you. So Kambosos now have to be careful of how he cherry pick himself going forward. Is he gonna cherry pick himself right into an ass whooping, or he gonna just do it the right way? It don't matter who you pick, they're gonna take them belts off you. So I guess if he's feeling that way, my assessment is he's probably gonna pick somebody that's gonna make the most money for him. Because in the end, if you're going to lose, and you know it, your corner know it, everybody know it, even your opponents know you're gonna lose. If you're gonna lose, then it has to be about the money, right? So that's how I see it. So that's why I say it looks like he leans towards Tank. If that's the case, then Devin and Loma need to get it in ASAP. They need to get it in. And, the winner will be a WBC champion. So definitely they'll still be next. But at least you'll knock that out the way. They can let Kambosos wait a little while. If Tank broke his hand, it ain't going to take too long to fix that shit. He could be back in the summer. So as the boxing turns, Remember that soap opera, As the World Turns? As the World Turns in boxing. So I'm trying to be like a soap opera because that's what it be coming off like, a soap opera. But anyway, that's all I have. It was an interesting weekend. This weekend coming up, we got some interesting fights. I don't know if I'm gonna pay for Jake Paul. I don't know. Not because I don't like him or nothing like that. I just don't know. I've already paid for the Tank fight this month, so I should be tapping out. Y'all, this the holiday season. Everybody's out and about. Everybody in that moment is on the road. Y'all be careful, be safe, be sweet. Uh, be on your best behavior this month. If no other month during the year, be on your best behavior. I think this weekend is the last of fights. I don't even know what we're gonna do with these shows and stuff. So, but I'll figure something out. Maybe I'll profile certain fighters and give like a historical background on whatever fighters and make like my my makeshift documentaries. Anywho, when y'all know better, you do better. Until tomorrow, peace.